contribution scheme.
What's the matter? Oh, sorry.
Unlawful monetary
That's my
transactions in connection with the wire fraud allegations. Theft of public money in connection with his alleged receipt of unemployment benefits. Fraudulent application for and receipt of unemployment benefits. And false statements in connection with his 2020 and 2022 House of Representatives financial disclosure statements. Whereas Nancy Marks, who served as treasurer to Representative Santos's campaign, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud, falsifying records and identity theft in connection with the Santos campaign.
Is it pleaded or pled?
Whereas a superseding indictment was filed on October 10th, 2023, charging Representative Santos with additional violations related to his 2022 campaign, including allegations of falsifying Federal Election Commission reports in connection with a $500,000 personal loan that was never made, falsifying the names of contributors to his campaign, engaging in aggravated identity theft and access device fraud, and enriching himself through a fraudulent contribution scheme. Whereas Sam Miele, who served as a fundraiser to Representative Santos's campaign, pleaded guilty to a federal wire fraud charge after impersonating a senior congressional aide for the purposes of soliciting funds. Whereas the ISC that was established to review the allegations against Representative Santos adopted a report of its findings and submitted the report to the full committee. Whereas the Committee on Ethics of the House unanimously voted to adopt the ISC report based upon the investigation providing substantial evidence that Representative Santos knowingly caused his campaign committee to file false or incomplete reports with the Federal Election Commission, use campaign funds for personal purposes,
Sorry, you're sick.
engage in fraudulent conduct in connection with Redstone Strategies, LLC, and engage in knowing and willful violations of the Ethics in Government Act as it relates to his financial disclosure statements filed with the House. 2, was a knowing and active participant in the wrongdoing. And 3, was given an opportunity pursuant to Committee Rule 17B to submit a signed written statement responding to the allegations raised in a complaint filed by his fellow members, but did not do so. Whereas the ISC, 1, requested that Representative Santos provide all documents and information responsive to its request for information, but he did not do so. 2, asked Representative Santos to voluntarily testify, but he did not do so. And 3, provided Representative Santos the opportunity, pursuant to Committee Rule 19B3, to provide a statement under oath, but he did not do so. Whereas as a member of the United States House of Representatives, Representative Santos must be held accountable to the highest standard of conduct in order to safeguard the public's faith in this institution. Whereas the Constitution of the United States charges the House with policing the behavior of its own members, and the House should take action against Representative Santos, commiserate with his violations of federal law and the rules of the House. And whereas given his egregious violations, Representative George Santos is not fit to serve as a member of the United States House of Representatives, now therefore be resolved that pursuant to Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2 of the Constitution of the United States, George Santos be, and he hereby is, expelled from the United States House of Representatives.
The resolution qualifies. Pursuant to Clause 2 of Rule 9, the gentleman from New York, Mr. D'Esposito, and the gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, will each control 30 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. D'Esposito.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are here this afternoon at a point that none of us wanted to ever be at.
I want to hear this.
But the Ethics Committee of the House of Representatives has filed their report,
I know,
which revealed a complex web of illegal activities that involved Representative George Santos's campaign, his personal and business finances. Santos tried to exploit every aspect of his candidacy for personal financial gain. Records subpoenaed by the Committee on Ethics show that Congressman Santos stole from his campaign by deceiving donors into providing contributions that were actually payments for his personal benefit. Santos also reported fictitious loans to his political committees to induce donors and party committees to contribute more to his campaign, keeping the elaborate scheme moving forward. George Santos is a liar. In fact, he's admitted to many of them, who has used his position of public trust to personally benefit himself
He's spinning in his
from day
chair.
one.
He's so cute.
Santos now faces 23 criminal charges in connection with his long list of misdeeds. We have already seen 2 former Santos staffers, including his former treasurer, plead guilty to federal charges in connections with Santos's corrupt campaign. Despite blaming others, including his former treasurer, for the numerous campaign violations, all signs point towards Mr. Santos that he knowingly and actively participated in a widespread misconduct of his campaign.
I guess not.
In fact, the Ethics Committee report records demonstrate this to a T.
You don't even know what his real
George
name is.
Santos has continuously said that he has not received his due process. I ask my colleagues, if we do not take the Ethics Committee and their results seriously, then why even have the committee in the first
Well,
place?
that might be a good question.
Through the ISC investigation, Santos has been awarded due process and has been provided ample opportunity to be heard during both the investigation by the House Committee on Ethics and throughout the expulsion process. Even after being offered multiple opportunities to present his side of the story, Mr. Santos refused to engage with the Ethics Committee in good faith and refused to cooperate with those tasked with leading the investigation. The ISC report notes that he failed to submit a written response to the allegations, failed to provide numerous documents requested, refused to testify voluntarily, and failed to provide a statement under oath. Santos also informed the committee that if he was subpoenaed, he would plead the Fifth. We continually hear that the expulsion of Congressman Santos would set a new precedent. And Mr. Speaker, it would. And to my colleagues that have said that it would start a new precedent, to those that are here with us in this institution, in this great chamber today, that are arguing about precedent, I simply ask you this. The American people expect us to do the right thing. The American people are watching for us to do the right thing. And if we have an opportunity
I love this
in
newfound
this great
responsibility to
institution
ethics.
to start a new precedent, one, that means we hold members of the House of Representatives to a higher standard.
Really?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty confident that the American people would applaud that. I'm pretty confident that the American people expect
Is anyone
that.
going to argue
And I
for
hope
him?
that tomorrow, in this great chamber,
Oh, they're
we
gonna
set
vote
that
tomorrow.
precedent,
Okay.
Mr. Speaker. We set a precedent that we, as members of America's oldest institution, are held to a higher standard. Mr. Speaker, with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every member expelled in history of this institution has been convicted of crimes or Confederate turncoats
Maddie.
guilty of treason. Neither of those applied to me, but here we are.
Matt's taking
On
notes.
what basis does this body feel that precedent must be changed for me? An American citizen, duly elected to represent the 3rd District of New York. I have been convicted of no crimes, Mr. Speaker. My loyalty to this country that gave me life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is true and unquestionable. I stand here today debating for the second time in less than a month for the same exact reasons
Well,
that were brought up last time. The difference is that one can say I've been indicted once more by the findings of the Ethics Committee, a process that by the admission of the chair himself was not complete and conclusive because they didn't want to put more time into it.
I guess.
As if this committee runs on a schedule that, quite frankly, is in a rush. When some members have been under investigation
Yeah.
for over 5 years, some leave
He had a
while
butt
still
blast
under
before this. It was a big
investigation, Mr.
blast.
Chair. So I'm not trying to be arrogant or spiteful or, disrespectful of the committee. But I'm curious to know, what is the schedule of the ethics committee? Why rush this? To deliver a predetermined outcome sought out by some members
Rushed it?
of our conference or some members of this body? This is what it looks like to me. It is a predetermined necessity for some members in this body to engage in this smear campaign to destroy me. I will not stand by quietly. They
Oh, I
want
didn't
me
see
out
that
of this
onion
body. The people of the 3rd District of New York sent me here. If they want me out, they're going to have to go silence those people and take the hard vote. And with that,
It's a good
I
joke.
reserve.
I'm sorry.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from New York is recognized.
Well, Mr. Speaker,
Oh, boy.
I'm
It's
not
gonna be
sure
a
how a
Republican
predetermined outcome happens from a committee reviewing 170,000 pages of documents, numerous subpoenas, weeks and months of investigation. I'm not sure how a predetermined outcome is generated from that. With that, I'd like to yield as much time as he may consume to the chairman of the House Ethics Committee, my good friend from Mississippi, Mr. Guest.
Okay, Mr. Guest, you're up.
Gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
Have a fun time. Let me tell you.
Mr. Speaker,
Oh, dear.
George Santos has built his persona, his personal and political life on a foundation of lies.
Oof.
Many of those lies are well documented. We know that Mr. Santos lied about his education, both graduate and postgraduate, claiming that he attended universities where he was never enrolled, claiming that he obtained degrees that he did not earn. We know that Mr. Santos lied about his employment when he claimed that he worked for 2 prestigious financial institutions, Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. We know that Mr. Santos lied about his religious faith when he said he was Jewish, and then later when called out said he meant to say he was Jew-ish. And we know that
cool. Thank
Mr.
you.
Santos lied
Thanks,
when
Jen.
he said that he had 4 employees who were killed in a mass shooting in Florida. But Mr. Speaker, those lies, while troubling, those lies did not justify his removal from this body. But these and other misleading statements reflect directly on Mr. Santos's credibility. In May, Mr. Speaker, George Santos said that he looked forward to seeing the ethics process play out,
I'm sorry.
and that if the committee finds reason to remove him, then that is the process. Today, Mr. Speaker, George Santos would have you believe that the process that he endorsed in May is fatally flawed, and that he instead is the subject of a political witch hunt. Mr. Santos has described the report issued by the Ethics Committee as slanderous. He said that if there was a single ounce of ethics in the Ethics Committee, they would not have released the bias report. He referred to the report as a political hit piece. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind you that in March of this year, George Santos promised to fully cooperate with the ethics investigation. That just weeks ago, Mr. Santos said, "I have been very cooperative since the investigation started, and that I have no plans to change that." But Mr. Speaker, the record of the investigation reveals otherwise. The report of the Ethics Committee noted these things, Mr. Speaker. First, that Mr. Santos failed to submit a written response to the allegations filed by his fellow members. That Mr. Santos failed to provide many of the documents requested by the investigative subcommittee. That when given an opportunity to provide a statement under oath, that Mr. Santos denied to do so. That when asked to voluntarily testify, Mr. Santos refused. And the committee learned through his counsel that if the investigative subcommittee were to subpoena Mr. Santos, that he would plead the fifth and not give any testimony for fear that it may incriminate himself. And so while Mr. Santos has
And that,
failed to
folks,
speak with the committee, Mr. Speaker, he has spoken freely to the media. Just this past weekend, he was
Just
participating
yesterday.
in a 3-hour X live stream podcast with Monica Matthews. In that
Jackie
3-hour
was
interview,
there.
he said, I've made it very clear.
There's the Onion
I'm not
article
running
that
for
Jen was
re-election.
talking about.
It's not because it
That's
was
funny.
a damning report. I'm not running because I don't want to work with a bunch of hypocrites. It's gross. I have
know.
colleagues
I
who
thought
are
so
more
too,
worried
Jim.
about
I
getting
really
drunk
did.
every night with the next lobbyist that they're going to screw
Well, let's
and
not get too
pretend none
excited.
of us know what's going on and sell
just
off
means
the
George
American
isn't,
people.
George isn't lucrative.
Not
for
show
them.
up to vote because they're too hungover, whatever the reason is, or just not show up to vote at all and give their cards out like candy for someone else to vote for them. He went on to say regarding the ethics report, he said it's flawed. It was designed to smear me. It was designed to force me from my seat. That was the intention of the report.
Time is a flat circle.
This
All
wasn't
the
a
days are
finding of
months
fact.
all year.
So, Mr. Speaker, I
I'm just
want
going
to
to start a
talk a few
Truman
minutes
Show,
about
Rogue.
the
I'm going to
report of the
leave the
investigative
stream up
subcommittee.
24 hours a day.
The report of the ethics committee, the
The
work
new
that they
Truman
did
Show.
over an 8-month period. And I will tell you that the findings of the committee were shocking. We know that the ethics committee authorized 37
Well, let me tell you about
subpoenas.
Donald Trump.
They requested issued
You think
43
that's
requests
shocking?
for information. They interviewed 40 witnesses. They reviewed 172,000 pages of documents, and they issued a 56-page investigation report. In addition to this 56-page investigation report, Mr. Speaker, these are the exhibits that they attached to the investigative report.
Wow, he's
The
upset.
50-plus page report goes into great detail, and it paints a picture of the fraud committed by Santos. And in many cases, it also tracks the allegations for which Mr. Santos has been indicted in the Eastern District of New York. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the language of the report says this, that the investigative subcommittee revealed a complex web of unlawful activity involving Representative Santos's campaign,
I
personal
know.
and business
I agree,
finances.
Max.
It says that Representative
God.
Santos
Yeah,
sought
it
to
really is.
fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for his own personal profit. The report says that he blatantly stole from his campaign, that he deceived donors into providing what they thought were contributions to his campaign, but they were in fact payments for his personal benefit. The report goes on to say he reported fictitious loans to his political committees, to induce donors and party committees to make further contributions to his campaign. And then later the report says that despite Santos's efforts to blame his former treasurer for the numerous campaign violations, the ISC records demonstrates that Representative Santos knowingly and actively participated in this conduct. Mr. Speaker, through records that were subpoenaed by the Ethics Committee, we learned that Mr. Santos spent campaign-related funds on personal rent, on personal credit card payments, on ATM withdrawals. We know that he purchased luxury designer purchases at least 2 high-end stores. Then he spent money on payments made at OnlyFans.
What?
And that Mr. Santos spent
What?
almost $3,000 on Botox
OnlyFans.
treatments. In addition to these questionable expenses, there were travel expenses, questionable expenses involving trips to Atlantic City,
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Hamptons.
Please wear masks.
Mr. Speaker, in addition to this,
Get your current
there was additional
vaccination.
fraud that was uncovered and contained in this report issued by the Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee found that in 2020, that bank records indicate that Mr. Santos was repaid over $29,000 for fictitious loans that he never made his campaign. The report goes on to say that in 2021, that he falsely reported loaning his campaign $580,000, and he falsely reported loaning an additional $25,000 to his leadership PAC. The report goes on to document that the committee found, according to bank records, that Mr. Santos transferred $200,000 from Redstone Strategies, an entity found to be an unregistered super PAC controlled by Mr. Santos, that he transferred in 2022 alone over $200,000 into his personal account.
I hate Santos.
Mr. Speaker, I know that some members of this body have expressed concern about due process
for anyone.
They believe
I don't care
that
what he dresses
Mr.
as. I don't
Santos
care
was
who he
not
sleeps
given due
with. I don't care
process,
about any of
therefore
that.
that this should not go forward.
I'm here to live.
And Mr. Speaker, I want to address the argument of due process.
What?
Mr. Speaker, you are well aware that due process is referred to in the 5th and 14th Amendment. In the 5th Amendment, it says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness, life, liberty, or property without due process of law. We know the 14th Amendment then applies the 5th Amendment to the states, where it says no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And then, as you are also well aware, the 6th Amendment talks about criminal proceedings and the rights that attach to a criminal proceeding. Mr. Speaker, we're not here today on a criminal proceeding. The rights of the 6th Amendment don't apply, but due process under the 5th and 14th Amendment do apply here at this proceedings. And so it is important to talk about due process. The due process that are contained in the 5th and 14th Amendment. If you study due process, Mr. Speaker, you'll know that there are two subsections, two components, if you will, two legs upon which due process must stand. That first subsection, that first leg, is substantive due process. What is substantive due process? Substantive due process asks this question: is there a right to bring the action in question? Mr. Speaker, I say that there is. And we know that that right exists because that right is found in the United States Constitution. The expulsion clause, which is found in Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution, says this, Mr. Speaker. Says that each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of a 2/3 vote, expel a member.
What, there isn't more bananas?
So, Mr. Speaker, I tell you that
Yes,
as it relates
we
to
have no
substantive
bananas.
due process,
We have no
that clearly
bananas today.
substantive due process applies in this case. But that second leg, the second stool of due process is procedural due process. Procedural due process is a process that it governs the fairness of the proceedings. And there are three primary requirements, three primary tenets of procedural due process. Those requirements are: first, was adequate notice given? Mr. Speaker, I hold in this case adequate notice was given. Adequate notice was given in the fact that the investigative subcommittee notified Mr. Santos in February that the investigation was going to be ongoing. And it actually had contact with he and his office well before that, in January, shortly after he was sworn in. I would argue that Mr. Santos has notice of this hearing because the motion was filed 2 weeks ago. The resolution was filed to expel him from this body. So clearly, Mr. Santos has been given proper notice. The second requirement of due process says, did Mr. Santos have an opportunity to be
Oh,
heard?
Paulina. Oh, my goodness.
Mr. Speaker, I will
Thank
tell
you so
you that
much. That's so
he
generous.
has an opportunity to be heard.
And there's a
He had
cute
an
little
opportunity
dancing
repeatedly to be heard
bear.
by the
He's a
Ethics
little
Committee.
dancing
He had the
bear.
opportunity to submit a written statement, which he refused to do so.
You're very
He had an
kind.
opportunity to submit a
You're
statement
very
under
kind,
oath.
and
He
that's
refused to
very
do so.
generous.
He had an opportunity to come in and testify, and he declined to do so. Even when faced with the subpoena, he was planning to come in before the Ethics Committee and exercise his Fifth Amendment right not to testify. And so, Mr. Speaker, I hold that he has had ample opportunity to be heard by the investigative subcommittee. And he has once again presented the opportunity here today to before this body, before the American people. He has the opportunity today to rebut the findings of the Ethics Committee. He has the opportunity to point out any errors or omissions that he claims are in the report. And so clearly, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Santos has had the opportunity to be heard.
BRB.
And then finally, the
gotta
third
talk
and
to
final
Bobo.
point there is the opportunity to have a fair tribunal. And we are following the Constitution, which says that the body of other elected members, this body as a whole, must be the body that conducts a vote in this case. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to remind you of a statement I earlier referenced. That statement made by Mr. Santos in May. That statement where he said that he looked forward to seeing the ethics process play out. And if the Ethics Committee finds a reason to remove him, then that is the process. Mr. Speaker, the findings of the Ethics Committee. The Ethics Committee found substantial evidence, language taken directly from the report, substantial evidence that Representative Santos knowingly caused his campaign to file false or incomplete reports with the Federal Election Commission. The investigative subcommittee found substantial evidence that he used campaign funds for personal purposes. It found substantial evidence that he engaged in fraudulent conduct in connections with Redstone Strategies, LLC. And it found substantial evidence that Mr. Santos did knowingly and willfully engage in violations of the Ethics in Government Act. So, Mr. Speaker, I ask in accordance with Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution, I would ask that all members vote to support the expulsion of Representative Santos, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from New York. Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos.
Mr. Speaker, we hear a lot about process. We hear a lot about findings. Before I yield some time to my colleague from Texas, I just want to point out, in the resolution that the distinguished chairman from Mississippi, Mr. Guest, filed, he states that I engage in sexual misconduct when his own report states otherwise. That's just a clear evidence of how this process has been skewed, how this process is sloppy, and how it is contradictory to the core. The fact that in the report, it states that that was not the case, but they still bring it to the floor of the House of Representatives shows you the lack of respect for one's reputation. And with that, I would like to yield as much time as the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Nails, may consume.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are in uncharted waters, folks. The swamp water is very murky. It's deep. You try to navigate those treacherous waters. Every once in a while, you try to find that safe lily pad to land on. You try to find a lily pad to land on. But for George Santos, there doesn't appear to be a safe lily pad. The United States House of Representatives is attempting to expel a member of Congress who has not been convicted of a crime. In the history of our country, folks, only 5 members have been expelled from Congress. 1861, John Clark, John Reed, Henry Burnett were expelled on the grounds for treason for supporting the Confederate rebellion. In 1980, Michael Myers was convicted of bribery involving an FBI sting that led to the convictions of 7 members of Congress. 6 of them resigned, and Myers was expelled on a vote of 376 to 30. Then in 2002, James Trefficant was convicted on 10 counts, including bribery, conspiracy to defraud the United States, corruption, obstruction of justice. All five of these men had one thing in common, and they were all convicted under federal law and then rightfully expelled from Congress. Kicking out Mr. Santos is setting a very dangerous precedent. Never before has Congress expelled a member based on indictments. Indictments require nothing more than probable cause. An indictment is not a conviction. So why today would we remove a member from this House based on an indictment? It's never been done before. It shouldn't happen today. In this country, I thought everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I do not, and have not, and will not support the removal of Representative Santos, and I encourage my colleagues to agree. With that, I yield back.
Oop, what I missed? Did anyone
Reserve.
stand up
Gentleman
for
yields
Santos
back.
yet?
Reserve.
Gentleman reserves.
Oops.
Gentleman from New York is
Hi.
recognized.
I'd like to yield 1 minute to the ranking member of the
Wait,
Ethics
what
Committee.
happened today?
Ms. Wild.
Oh my God, so much. Here we go. Let's go back.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, as
The
ranking
Miami
member of the
Housewives.
Committee on Ethics,
What?
I rise in support of House Resolution
Oh
878,
my God.
which seeks to expel George
He went
Santos
to
from
bed.
the House of
He was
Representatives.
here this morning.
One of our most basic obligations
Yeah,
as
right?
members of Congress
Oh my
is to
God, I haven't
adhere
watched
to the
that.
principle that public office is a public trust. As the Ethics Committee's report lays
Do you
out
think
in
Louis
thorough
Reales is in
detail,
the family?
Mr. Santos has repeatedly, egregiously, and brazenly
Yeah.
violated the public's trust.
Ooh, Jim,
Mr.
what
Santos
happened?
is not a victim. He is a
Sorry, I probably
perpetrator
missed
of a
you guys
massive
all up.
fraud on his constituents and the American people. In fewer than 9 months, and despite Mr. Santos's non-cooperation and numerous attempts to mislead
He's
the
going to have it a
committee,
bunch in the next
the
few
Ethics
months.
Committee
Chudley.
compiled a staggering
you.
factual
Hey,
record
Ashley
against him.
Babbitt's got a reward.
And my colleague, Chairman Guest, has already outlined
Oh,
all of the
sweet.
subpoenas and pages of documents and witnesses, and I'm not going to go through that
I don't
again.
know.
But let me just say that the staggering
Nels.
factual
Oh, we did?
record.
Damn it, I missed that. But I had a great conversation with my
It's
beautiful
expired.
daughter.
May I ask for one more minute?
30 seconds.
Thank you.
30 seconds.
This achievement owes to the superb work of the committee's nonpartisan attorneys and investigative staff, who I would like to sincerely
Oh. I
thank
hope
for their
so.
efforts and
Because
dedicated
I got to
service
go
to the
get
House.
my
And I just
adrenochrome
want to remind
refilled.
everyone
So
that the Ethics
that payment
Committee
better
is the
come in.
only committee in Congress that is completely
I love us so
bipartisan.
much
An
with the
equal
whole
number of Democrats and Republicans, and
Adriana.
this was a
I love
unanimous
the Housewives
decision.
in Miami.
Thank you.
They're crazy.
Gentlewoman yields. Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentleman reserves.
I have to catch up with
Gentleman
the
from New York, Mr. Santos is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to yield time, as much time as he may consume, to my colleague, Clay Higgins.
Clay Higgins.
Gentleman
you
from
got all the
Louisiana is
stars.
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I don't think this is a good
Mr. Speaker,
idea.
many times in the course of my life as a military police officer and a civilian police officer, I've had
I had to
occasion to
let
say,
bad guys go.
calm down, son. I've heard your argument. I feel your passion. I understand your position.
Crazy has arrived.
But you're about to go too far. Just calm
I don't like
down
Adriana either.
and step back. This is what I advise
I
my
don't even remember.
colleagues on both sides of the aisle today.
So there.
One of my brothers here, whom I love and respect, these men seated here,
Who? Which one?
making a mistake.
Oh,
Mr. Speaker, one of the gentlemen said, we should be held to a higher standard, talking about the removal of a member of Congress, of the American people
he got fired. Yeah.
to believe that the opinions
I'm a
of
total
congressmen
Housewives junkie. I'm
is
sorry.
a higher standard
not
than
gonna
the
apologize
deliberate
for it.
vote
Life's
of the
too short.
American people. Is a report from a committee a higher standard than the 2-year election cycle as established by our
How about the
founding
evidence?
fathers
Did you
and
look at the
enshrined
evidence,
in our
Mr. Higgins?
Constitution?
Mr. Rule of Law,
Calm down.
calm down. It is relaxing
Mr.
as fuck.
Speaker,
You know why? Because it's
I've
not our
spoken for
lives,
7 years
and it would never
to this
be our
body here,
lives.
standing here.
And so it's like watching
Very rarely have
a
I
little
had
bit
a
of a train
prepared
wreck
statement,
without
nor do I today.
actual
But I'm going to read
death.
a letter
I know
that I
that's terrible, but I
distributed to my
can't really
Republican
can't
colleagues
describe it.
for the benefit of my Democratic colleagues that did not receive a copy of the letter. Perhaps I'm wrong for that. I considered sending you all this letter, and I did not, and I apologize for that because the media has gotten it, and it's out there.
Wait, what happened?
Although I completely respect the work of our colleagues on the Ethics Committee, I have serious concerns
no.
about the
The
way
Dubai
this
one is
particular
not. I
case is
can't do
being
that one.
handled, and I'll oppose the
Cannot.
George Santos expulsion. In the 7 years I've been a member of Congress, many members have
That's
been
just
subject to
they're
campaign
not good.
expenditure
Like they're
ethics
trying to act.
investigations. To my
I
recollection,
don't think the housewives
members
are
have
as good on
always
that.
had the
I like one of them, but I
opportunity
can't remember.
to settle the matter by restitution, even if they disagreed with the Ethics Committee conclusions. Further,
Oh, is he going to
in
restitute?
many prior
Are you
instances of
saying Mr.
allegations of
Santos will be
misconduct,
restituting?
I recall no
Is
massive
he gonna
media
restitute?
release from the Ethics
Real
Committee.
Housewives of Russia.
After a bit of a whispered brush fire, the matter just went away. Maybe the member left
Seriously.
Congress, maybe the member didn't leave Congress, but they weren't
I
publicly
would never
crucified and
treat people the
expelled.
way they treat each other.
The very fact that we have all read the quote unquote investigative report indicates a level of public character assassination that I have not witnessed through 4 terms of congressional service.
But I
It's
see the
troubling
drama
to me
bug really has
that a
caught people on the
Republican-led
internet,
ethics
and
committee
they
would
love to-
present
I think
itself
that's
as
one
so
of
judgmental.
well, one of the many
Previous
fallouts
ethics
of
committees
reality television.
investigations have always been conducted quietly, reflective of our
People don't realize that's
constitutional
acting.
standards of innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
That's acting.
Reports of similar allegations of campaign finance violations, like family vacations overseas and cosmetic dental procedures and sexual adventures of every sort, have not historically been released to the public. This particular ethics committee investigation seems to be quite public, and I'm not seeing any allowance for the member to make restitution of alleged campaign
Why don't we
finance
ask him right now?
violations.
Can we
Full
ask him right
media
now?
disclosure combined with intention to move straight to expulsion appears weaponized to
Let's
me.
ask him right now.
Colleagues, you can believe what you like, but the 56-page investigative subcommittee report is most certainly not written within the parameters normally found in an unbiased,
God,
impartial
Clay.
investigative report.
You're like the last
It's filled
person
with
I would
conjecture,
go to for legal
opinion,
advice.
and pejorative
Just
language
gonna say.
that no professional investigative report should include, no experienced cop would present to a DA, and no impartial DA would ever present to a court as unbiased. You may accept this report as grounds for expulsion from
Well, guess
Congress,
what?
but I say no. It's not right. The totality of circumstance appears biased. It stinks of politics.
From your own
And I'll
party.
oppose this action in every way. Perhaps my colleagues should step back from expulsion, look in the mirror, reflect upon the long established
looking at you,
historical
Matt.
record of congressional behavior, consider the founders' intent, and let we, the people of New York, determine their representative. This report is posing as an objective presentation
I
of
might make
fact,
the argument that
yet
we
it
had a
is
little
most
bit of trouble
certainly
with that.
written with notable disregard for professional objectivity, and it's wrapped in a media-incensed public disclosure that any reasonable man can see is a congressional equivalent of a public crucifixion. I'm stunned that members
Say,
would
bud,
cheer
you
for
wanna be
this
a chicken
public
hawk?
shaming and
If you're going to be a
expulsion.
chicken hawk, you
It's
have
like
to act like a chicken
witnessing
hawk.
an otherwise fair and compassionate village gather to celebrate the burning of an alleged witch. Since the Civil War,
What?
only 2 members of Congress have been expelled, and both have been convicted in court of federal crimes. That's the standard, and the House of Representatives should not deviate
Johnson
from
says,
that
"Hold my beer."
standard. I'm a solid no on expulsion, and I encourage every member to carefully consider what kind of precedent we're setting here.
They're all
Mr. Speaker,
scared.
I
Just a
appreciate this
reminder,
opportunity
you may
to encourage my
be
colleagues
asked.
sincerely on both sides of the aisle to step back from this expulsion. I yield.
Gentleman reserves.
Reserve.
Gentleman from New York, Mr. Esposito.
Well, thank you. And as I fully respect my friend from Louisiana and have much love for him, I want to reassure no one is cheering for this ethics report. And with that, I'd like to yield as much time as he may consume to my friend from New York and fellow Long Islander, Mr. LaLota.
Gentleman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to address three issues in hopes of persuading my colleagues from both sides of the aisle who at this moment are either against or undecided about expelling George Santos to ultimately vote yes. Those three issues are fraud, due process, and election integrity. Regarding fraud, Mr. Speaker, both federal and state laws would require jail time or a monetary fine or both
This is pretty
for
big
any
for
of our
them,
constituents
right?
who tricked another person
Because it's a
into
lot for
an
them to.
agreement
When
another
did Congress
American's
burn a
disadvantage.
witch? I'm sorry.
Here in the 2022
I'm sorry. When
election,
did Congress
by
burn a
his
witch?
own admission, George Santos induced New
Long
York voters
Island,
and donors
LaLota.
throughout the nation
I'm
to
Nick
support him
LaLota,
by
and I'm from
fraudulently
Long
creating
Island.
an
I
entire
love
new
him.
person
I love
that
Long
donors and voters
Island.
would support.
I love the Long
Santos
Island
did
accent.
this
It's actually
intentionally.
really still
Figuring the
beautiful.
uneducated, underemployed, and person of simple means he actually is could not earn the support of voters and donors. The facts of George Santos's fraud are not in dispute. George Santos is not the person he offered to voters. He didn't work where he said he did. He didn't go to school where he said he did. He's far from rich. He isn't Jewish, and his mother was not in the South Tower during 9/11. So the argument that New Yorkers voted George Santos in and that we should wait until November of
Whole lot of
2024
going
for
on.
voters to decide his fate is inherently flawed, since voters weren't given a chance in the first chance to determine who they were actually voting for, Mr. Speaker.
Not a bad point.
So while our constituents would go to jail or be fined for similar lies, one question we have before us today is that are we going to hold George Santos to the same standard which our constituents are held, or a lesser one? Regarding due process, Mr. Speaker, we should clear some things up. It's been a while since I took Professor Sample's civil procedure class or Professor Kuh's constitutional law class, but the due process clauses of our 5th and 14th Amendments do not apply to House proceedings. Rather, the constitutional proceedings which do apply here is Article 1, Section 5, Clause 2, which states clearly and simply, each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and, with the concurrence of 2/3, expel any member. It's that simple, Mr. Speaker. So while constitutional due process does not apply here, George Santos has actually been afforded every single element of it
Prove him wrong.
through the bipartisan ethics committee
I want to hear
process.
Lauren speak too.
Due process requires notice,
I agree.
an opportunity to be
I hope
heard,
she's
and a
wearing
decision
that
by a fair and
delightful
impartial
off-the-shoulder
tribunal. First, Santos got his notice when the ethics committee informed him of the probe into his conduct. Second, Santos had every opportunity to be heard when the ethics committee invited him to confront the accusations against him, an invitation Santos rejected. Finally, his tribunal is us, the House of Representatives, whose collective impartiality is proven every day by the partisan fights we have every day, day in and day out. So, Mr. Speaker, while this proceeding is not covered by the due process clauses, George Santos has indeed been afforded much more process than a person in his shoes deserves. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak on the matter of election integrity.
Hi, Clay.
Before I came to the House, I was my county's elections
You should
commissioner
play
for
the
7
voting
years,
song.
where I
Oh,
fought for
I
more
will.
integrity in our
I can
elections.
sing it.
As elections commissioner, I
Hi,
fought for removing
Sam.
deceased voters from our
How
rolls,
are you?
for voter
Good to see
ID,
you.
against fraudulently submitted absentee ballots, and against
Yeah,
voters
notice
being
Clay's
registered in
never
2
here
different
when
places.
Higgins is on screen.
Following the 2016 and 2020 elections, members of
Interesting.
Congress from both sides of the aisle voted not to certify those elections, stating the results
Clay
were
is
not
Sam.
reliable.
Oh my God, I don't even
Tomorrow,
understand
by
you.
voting
Okay,
yes to
hi,
expulsion,
Clay, Sam.
Republicans and
Sam,
Democrats
Clay.
can stand for election integrity and against voter
I
fraud,
thought you were someone
because there
new.
is no more provable case of election fraud before this Congress than George Santos's 2022 election fraud. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I would like to offer that New Yorkers from Queens and Nassau counties deserve better than George Santos, a total fraud and a serial liar representing them in Congress. Each day that Mr. Santos is allowed to remain a
Sir,
member of Congress,
Mr.
my New
Lalota,
York neighbors
have
to
you
the
asked
west
your
are being denied real
Republican
representation
Party of
in
Long
these
Island
halls.
why he
That
was
is
allowed
because
to
their
run in the first
representative is
place?
incapable of getting a bill passed, a project funded, or even sitting on a
I know,
committee.
Tom. I know
Because he
your
lacks the
brother
minimal
Sam.
amount of trust necessary to be a member of Congress.
Clay's not here,
Today,
man.
the best way to support my fellow New Yorkers and
Sam's
overcome
here.
George Santos's fraud is to expel George Santos from the House of Representatives. I yield, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman yields.
I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos is recognized.
I'd like to yield as much time as he may consume. My colleague from Florida, Mr. Gates.
Gentleman from Florida is recognized.
I do not believe that
has some-
the Long Island
he has a
crew
dog
is
in this
acting
fight.
in bad faith, just exceedingly bad judgment. And here's why. Since the beginning of this Congress, there's only two ways you get expelled. You get convicted of a crime, or you participated in the Civil War. Neither apply to George Santos. And so I rise not to defend George Santos, whoever he is, but to defend the very precedent that my colleagues are willing to shatter. Now, let's speak to due process. Mr. Santos hasn't been convicted of anything, but we haven't even moved to expel the people who have. Mr. Bowman pled guilty to a misdemeanor for his little fire alarm stunt weeks ago. So like, while the ethics committee is marching to throw George Santos out of Congress, they take no action as to someone who actually pled guilty to a crime. What's that all about? And then there's all this talk about, well, he could have come and testified to the ethics committee, and he didn't. So he had his due process, but that belies the fact that he faces a trial. And had Mr. Santos testified before the ethics committee, an argument could have been made that he waived any of his rights that he would have had at trial that any American would enjoy. So it was a procedural double bind that shouldn't be held against Mr. Santos as some sort of adverse inference. Let's also talk about this precedent. The fact pattern as to Mr. Santos is remarkably similar to the fact pattern of former Representative Duncan Hunter. Duncan Hunter used campaign money on girlfriends and trips and home improvements and all sorts of personal lavishes. He was indicted for those crimes and continued to serve in Congress. He pled guilty to a number of those crimes and continued to serve in Congress. He was in Congress for like an additional pay period after having pled guilty to the very same things that Mr. Santos has been indicted for. And so I think it's persuasive to me that Mr. Higgins and Mr. Nels, two law enforcement officials with sterling reputations, are here not necessarily to defend Mr. Santos, but to defend this precedent and this due process that is being shattered. And I was struck when the author of this resolution said the quiet part out loud. He didn't try to shoehorn the expulsion of George Santos into some existing construct or precedent. He said, yep, we're making a whole new precedent. We're making whole new rules right now. But he defends that by saying that the new rules are better, that it's a higher standard. So we should just throw away everything that's happened from the first Congress to the 118th because the new precedent is more robust. The problem is it's a lower standard for due process without merit. Mr. Speaker, whatever Mr. Santos did with Botox or OnlyFans is far less concerning to me than the indictment against Senator Menendez, who's holding gold bars inscribed with
apparently
Arabic
the
on
vote
them
is
from
tomorrow,
Egypt,
and
while
today
he's
is just
still
debate.
getting classified briefings today.
Yeah.
But he's not
Thanks
getting
for
thrown
my
out of the
headache.
Senate.
Long
He's
Island's
getting
very
classified
conservative.
briefings under indictment for bribery. But what? Because Santos was
Go
buying
get him,
Botox
Beavis.
and OnlyFans, we got to throw him out?
Go get him, Beavis.
If George Santos is convicted,
Let me show you my
he ought to
Venmo.
be expelled. But until then, it is an incredibly dangerous thing for people in Washington, D.C. to substitute their judgment for the judgment of voters. Winston Churchill said that, you know, in a democracy, people get the government that they deserve. Well, the people of Mr. Santos's district elected him. And like, this is not some district in rural Mississippi with like one newspaper. This is New York City. And George Santos rolls in there, wins. And you know what? It's between him and his voters, him and the justice system. And the fact that the Ethics Committee has done this incredible violation of precedent will do grave damage to this institution for many years to come, because now there's no requirement of any conviction. There is a departure from the precedent from the Duncan Hunter matter and many others. And I fear what that may indicate lies ahead for the future of due process in the House of Representatives. I yield back.
Gentleman reserves.
I yield 1 minute to Mr. Garcia.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, truth and justice are crucial components of a healthy and strong democracy. It speaks to the public trust we hold and the dignity of this institution. As a freshman member of Congress, I take the oath very seriously. I love this country deeply, and we should all have intentions to defend it. That's why I rise today to defend the integrity of the House and to support the expulsion of Representative Santos. I wish no personal harm to the representative from New York, and I imagine this is a difficult moment for him and for the institution.
Oh, I love
But I
this
believe
guy.
strongly that his actions,
love
he
Robert
must be held
Garcia.
accountable for them, as well as his lies. He fabricated his qualifications, his background, lied to the FEC, and unemployment fraud. That's why he's under a serious 23-count indictment. The bipartisan report is out. It's damning. It should convince all members to vote for this expulsion. People want better from Congress. They want good and ethical government, and they deserve the truth. I once again ask the representative from New York to resign and save himself and the country from this vote. And if not, I encourage a yes vote to restore integrity to the body and to expel Representative Santos. I yield back.
Gentleman from California yields. Gentleman from New York.
I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from New York is recognized, Mr. Santos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, I hear a lot the line, I encourage Representative Santos to resign, do the right thing, which is resign. What I hear is people don't want to take this vote. I'm just here. I'm willing to take the vote. Take the vote, guys. I'm okay with it.
He's going to write a book.
This is your time. This is what they've all built up to all year. The most damning feature of this farce is the total perversion of the priorities of this body and this conference, who ran on the commitment to America.
He reminds me of some
Yes,
streamers.
witch hunting George Santos
that I
is
know.
right there. I remember that on the top
Margaret
line
Marcia?
of the commitment to
Michael
America.
Jordan's son?
This
No.
conference has failed to pass 4
Wow.
different appropriations bills, Mr.
Not that.
Speaker.
I know you don't mean him.
It had rules fail
No.
on the floor.
Only when it comes to me.
We had
Who's
members
coming with me?
weaponizing the rules committee because it didn't do what they wanted. Our borders are wide open. It's no man's land being run by NGOs. And yet, this Congress has now taken 3 measures and the insurmountable
this is
amount of time
simultaneously
that
a
goes
conversation
behind them
about the Real
to
Housewives
expel
and
a
George
member
Santos.
duly elected by
I can't
the
tell which
people
comment
of
is
the 3rd
which.
District of New York. You see, I didn't think that my tenure in Congress would be this way,
I love
Mr.
it.
Speaker. I came here to do work. I came here to pass and work on conservative legislation. I have a stellar conservative record that I am proud of. The work I've done in this body, I am proud of. The votes I've taken in this body, I am proud of. Every vote that I've taken
What about
that
the money
might have
you've
been
stolen?
against leadership, I stand by those votes. Not because I disrespect leadership, but because I want a more conservative agenda for our country. Now, I can't say the same
I
thing
don't
about
believe
some of
you.
my colleagues, especially the ones most adamant to remove me, almost as if we remove him, there's no comparison. It's that much simpler. They can go home and say they're conservative. They won't know what a real conservative will look like on Long Island. That's just the reality. The votes are there. Now, let's talk about the fact of due process that everybody seems to say that I have taken and I've received. You know, it's no secret in this body that obviously I have an ongoing process with the DOJ. I was given a deadline, an unrealistic deadline, to testify before the committee the same day that I had to go to court. And they gave us a hardliner yes or no answer. They wouldn't settle for anything else. That was the deadline. I could not surpass that date, which means it was either I go to New York City to adhere to my DOJ case, or I go to the ethics committee. No disrespect to the committee. I've incurred over $200,000 of legal fees that have been predominantly paid for. So
whom?
to suggest that
By
I have
whom?
not complied with them is yet another lie. They have received every document they've asked, and documents we did not have, we have told them, we don't have them. We don't have access to what you're asking for. And they persisted and insisted in inventing documents, communication between myself and people that did not exist.
Oh,
Thus
so that's
communication,
why.
and we informed them.
She's out there.
This was all on the record. But I rise and I question again to the chairman. Will he set the record straight that his expulsion resolution contradicts the findings of his report? Which one is it? Am I guilty of a sexual harassment claim or am I not? The report says I'm not. His filing on this expulsion resolution says I am. That is a very serious allegation, one that I sought to see the end of, where the House, the Office of Congressional Ethics, sent a referral to the investigative subcommittee saying that they did not suggest further investigation into the matter because it lacked credibility. Yet it sits on their expulsion resolution.
Have fun.
I call that hypocrisy, more lying, more swamp behavior from this body. The same reason that Americans have no trust in this body, because unfortunately, far too often, too many of our colleagues here will speak from both sides of their mouths without regard to who it might hurt. As it is said, people in this town will hurt people a whole lot so they can benefit just a little bit. With that, I reserve.
And reserves. Gentleman from New
Mr.
York.
Speaker, how much time do I have remaining?
Gentleman has 2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes. All right. I'd like to yield 1 minute to my friend from New York, Mr. Molinaro. Dear God, Mr. Speaker, my future former colleague is divorced from reality. He has manufactured his entire life to defraud the voters of his district an honest choice for a member of Congress. He has lied to donors and to colleagues, taking advantage of election law, using campaign funds to personally benefit himself. And he has defamed not only his office, but the institution itself. I was not elected, nor any of us, to defend precedent. I was elected to defend the United States Constitution.
I'm done with fake
and my
people,
colleague,
just
and the
so
most
you know.
truthful thing he said today,
Please don't mention
said
them
we
in
don't
my
want to be
chat.
compared to him.
Thank you.
My colleague is damn right.
Don't give
I
a
do
shit.
not want to be compared to him. And the voters that sent me here expect an independent voice, expect us to use the rules of the House, and expect us to stand up for the very decency and laws of this country in protecting the Constitution. He has lost the right to serve in this House, and I will vote to expel him.
Gentleman,
I reserve.
Gentleman from New York is recognized.
I reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from
I have
New
1
York.
minute remaining.
1
I'd like
minute
to yield
remaining.
45 seconds to my friend from New York, Mr. Lawler.
Gentleman from New York, Mr. Lawler,
Oh, I like
is
this
recognized.
Oh no, this guy I don't
Of all
like.
the lies that George Santos told, two
Yes,
are the
vote,
most
vote,
jarring.
vote.
That his mother perished in 9/11, was in the building, got cancer from
You
9/11,
only have 45 seconds.
or that his grandparents fled the Holocaust. In both instances, Mr. Santos used tragic events in history to try and propel himself to public office. Worse than that, he not only defrauded the voters of the 3rd District, he defrauded donors, stealing their money for personal gain. The facts and the evidence are
Yeah.
clear. He can defend
Why aren't
himself
they
in
in
a
the
court of law,
streets?
but for the purposes of this body,
Why won't they?
he's got to go. It's time to expel George
Like,
Santos.
why
Gentleman's
wouldn't
time has
they-
expired.
Yeah.
I reserve.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Gentleman reserved. Gentleman from New
How
York.
much time do
recognized.
I have left, Mr. Speaker?
Gentleman has 8 minutes remaining.
I reserve.
Gentleman,
I
I
was
have
a top
15
check.
seconds remaining.
Oh my goodness gracious.
gentleman has 15
I
seconds
missed all
I
remaining.
of
yield those
these.
last 15 seconds to my friend from Ohio, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
Gentleman is recognized from Ohio.
Thank you. I'll keep this very brief. I myself have been a victim of George Santos and as
Oh.
well as other members of Congress in terms of defrauding through public donations. I had received an ethics complaint from the FEC, which I had to spend tens of thousands to defend myself. You, sir, are a crook. I know I should direct my comments to the chair. I yield back.
Gentleman's
like to
time has expired.
I reserve.
Gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos is recognized.
I'd like to move to have the gentleman from Ohio's words stricken from the record,
No.
please.
No. 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 Nope. No, 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 no.
Gentleman's request is not timely, but I would remind members to direct their remarks to the chair.
Thank you, not
Gentleman is
timely.
recognized.
Thank you, not timely.
Mr. Speaker,
I don't normally like Mr. Miller,
Hypocrisy,
but I.
as I
whatever.
mentioned, my colleague wants to come up here, call me a crook. Same colleague who's accused of being a woman beater.
Oh.
Are we really going to ignore the facts that we all
Look
have
at the guy behind
passed
him.
and we
Look
all
at the guy
have the
behind
media
him.
coming out against us on a daily
I
basis?
can't.
Every last
can't.
one of us
I
has
can't.
struggled with every little ounce of what happens within public service. I didn't come here. I can go and read about all my colleagues. I'm not going to stand here to smear them. I'm not going to stand here and use the time I have to say ill things about my colleagues.
You just
I
did.
refuse to stoop to that
You
level.
did. You just
The
did.
only
You
thing
just
I want to make clear is if tomorrow when this vote is on the floor, it is in the conscience of all of my colleagues that they believe that this is the correct thing to do, so be it. Take the vote. I'm at peace. I have accepted that whether I get expelled or I don't,
Great. What a
I-
fucking
I have
clown.
accepted that I cannot control that faith, Mr. Speaker. I have done the best I can
No,
to
you
serve in
haven't.
this body
No, you
and to
haven't.
deliver the best I can in my
No, you
campaign
haven't.
promises to vote as a
No,
conservative
you
voice in
haven't.
this body.
Well,
I stand by that.
Whatever.
And with
whatever
that, I'd like
that's
to
worth.
yield as much
He's
time
a
as my
piece
colleague
boy.
may consume. The gentleman from Louisiana. Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Louisiana is
Chief
recognized.
of Staff.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Speaker.
Okay.
What I ask of my colleagues,
Uh-oh. I
again,
don't
very respectfully
say
on both sides
things
of the
about
aisle,
anyone.
is to
Don't
just step
say
back
me. Calm
in
down.
this moment
Shut up.
and
Don't
reflect
look at the
upon
Democrats. They're not
the
doing
sacred
this. This
right
is your bitch thing.
of the American people
It's your bitch problem.
to
not
determine
ours.
their representation in our
Dude, they didn't know who they were
representative republic.
voting in. That's the
This
point.
is not
Shit face.
a right that has been
Listen.
enumerated
Listen.
for this Congress.
Oh, really? Because you know what?
The American
let me tell
people
you what the
run this thing.
uh
I believe the
I say
people of the 3rd
son,
District of New
son
York
what's that?
are quite
Foghorn
capable
leghorn.
of removing
Well, it's a chicken
Representative
hawk.
Santos
Well, it's a little
if
chicken
they
hawk.
choose to do so. In the history of
All
our
right, Clay
nation,
Higgins is a bad person. And the
we
bottom
have
line is this.
never done what we're poised to do.
I actually think you might have.
Since the Civil War,
Okay, yeah. See?
2 members of Congress have been removed
Okay, baby.
by expulsion, both
Uh-huh.
having
So it has
been
happened.
convicted of federal crime.
So it has happened. So it has happened.
The people of these United
So
States
again, it has happened.
own the sacred right
And
to remove their representative.
his campaign manager
This is reflective
or
of our
finance
oath,
person, aren't they in
ladies
trouble?
and gentlemen. I
Sam's
say this
now gone
sincerely,
also.
my
Huh.
beloved colleagues,
Sam and Higgins never
Step
in the
back
same room
from
at
this
the same time.
egregious act
What is going on here?
that you've threatened.
Citizen reserves his
Reflect
time for
upon
OnlyFans. You know, the thing is
The American people
good.
that we serve,
he should, but just
the
don't
oath that we've
lie.
sworn,
the probably last thing tomorrow before they all leave.
allow the
Oh, okay.
people of
All right.
New
Well, we'll be
York
on in the morning, so we'll
to
be in
cast their
Georgia,
vote
and then we can
as
make our
they
way to
see fit.
Washington. No problem. No problem. No problem.
Mr. Speaker, I am
There is
prayerful
no problem.
that
We can do
righteousness
it.
will indeed touch
It's
the heart
all right.
of every member of
It'll be
Congress in this
okay.
consideration, just as I'm prayerful that righteousness
And we'll
touches the heart
pray
as the
that
voting
someday
Americans across the
we'll be
country
able
determine who their representative
to
will be.
let
And I have faith
them vote in any
that this
crook
anointed
they
nation,
want. Hi,
touched
basket package. Well,
by the-
welcome,
by the
Vitin.
hand
How do
of
I say your
God,
name? Vitin Valdez? Vitin?
as our
Make
Constitution
sure you correct me
was
if I'm doing that
debated
incorrectly.
and
I apologize.
developed,
Welcome.
and the writ thereof was determined,
And then
I have faith
when I said no
in that document, and I am prayerful that my colleagues, Republican, and my colleagues, Democrat, will grant that sacred right as determined by our Constitution to the
Oh my
people to
God.
whom it
Sorry,
belongs.
I sing a lot.
In
It's
this
a
case,
pain.
the people of the 3rd District of New York. Mr. Chairman, I encourage all members to oppose the expulsion of Representative George Santos, and I yield.
Gentleman from New York is recognized.
I yield, Mr. Speaker.
Oh dear.
Gentleman yields.
What's that mean?
Without objection, the previous question is ordered on the resolution. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.
Clayburgh Higgins. Clayburgh Higgins.
In the
is
opinion of the
in
chair,
the
2/3
house.
being in the affirmative, the
Hi,
resolution
Clayburgh
is
Higgins.
adopted.
Welcome.
Gentleman
Welcome
from
to
New
the
York.
lounge.
I'd like to request a recorded vote.
Does the gentleman request the yeas and nays?
Yes, sir.
To serve in
The yeas and nays are
government with the
requested. Those
clowns.
favoring
Yeah,
a
Jen,
vote by
well
the
put.
yeas and nays will rise.
Clayburgh Higgins.
A
is
sufficient
in the
number have
house.
risen. The yeas and nays are
Clayburgh
ordered
Higgins is
pursuant to
in the
Clause 8
house.
of Rule
It's not
20.
Clayburgh Higgins.
Further proceedings on this question are postponed.
You're not Clayburgh Higgins. You can't possibly be Clayburgh Higgins. Hey man, I say more power to you, man. Get your kink on. I don't care. As long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not breaking any laws on terms of, whatever. Yeah, Gates paid for an underage. Well, I don't call them hookers. An underage. He raped a child. Yeah, probably. He probably did. He probably did. Further proceedings on this will be postponed. What's that mean? What's that mean? Vest foot banana. Oh yeah, okay, I know who you are. You're not Clayburgh Higgins though. Don't be coming in here under assumed names. Clayburgh Higgins. Clayburgh Higgins. What are we doing now? Did I miss what I missed? What are we doing? Are we adjourning? What are you doing? What did I miss? 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 Well, earlier, okay, so if you didn't catch the broadcast this morning, we sang Send in the Clowns, and that was good. And we read documents and we watched the ridiculous weaponization of the government hearing led by the one and only Jimmy Jack Jordan, taking the votes. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Paul. Hi, welcome. So yeah, anyway, what was I going to say? Recording the votes.
Pursuant to
Thanks,
House
Gal.
Resolution
Yeah, you'd think there'd
891
be more
and Rule 18, the chair declares the House and the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union for the further consideration of H.R. 5961. Will the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Stubbe, kindly take the chair?
Ew, I hate Stubbe. Yeah, you'd think there'd be more people in attendance, right? Like, kind of weird.
The House is in the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union for the further consideration of H.R. 5961.
Show
which
us
the clerk
your
will
vest.
report by title.
A bill
Greg.
to free certain Iranian funds involved in the 2023
what?
hostage deal between the United States and Iran and for other purposes.
Now there's
When the
Stubbe
Committee of
all
the Whole
over
rose
the
earlier today, Amendment number 12, offered by the gentleman from
Sam
Illinois,
Clayburgh,
Mr. Jackson, had been
Sam
postponed.
Clayburgh.
Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18,
I got my fancy vest on. Hey, where's the sound? Whoa, 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 where's the sound? Wait, what? What? What just happened? Oh, I think they probably started another one. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, nobody panic. Everybody stop panicking. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know what's happening right now. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait, I know what to do. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, you haven't seen my show? Oh boy. Well, welcome. It's a little irreverent. I should put the banner on so that you know what to expect. Hold on, let me do that. And I'm probably going to be. We'll see what's happening out in the world. But yeah, that's probably what you should know before you fully commit. That's right. We're not going anywhere. That's right. And I'm not out of bananas. Oh wait, you are out of bananas. Oh dear, that's terrible. Yeah, please like the stream. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what we got. Hold on. Let me go back over here and then we go back over there and then we go back over here. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. God, only the silly channels have it. So that means it's not really happening. It's not really. So they, I mean, what? 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 How are they having like a vote and yet not having like a vote? Hold on, let me check now this. Oh, it's ended. Okay. Well, bitch. Hold on, let me see if there's anything else worth watching. President Dump. President Dump's gonna talk. All right, well, there we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, well, that was more disappointing than I know. Yeah, Sam has tried to like the stream as much as he possibly can over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, well, I guess that's it for today. Oh my gosh. And well, so here's the plan. Here's the broadcast plan. So tomorrow morning at 10:20 a.m. Pacific time, we're going to be in Georgia watching the Georgia v. Trump trial. It is a hearing. What is it? Oh shit. I can't fucking remember what it is. But yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and join us for that at 10:20. And then let's see. After that, we're probably going to be there for the vote in Congress. And then after that, we will have Lolo's Lounge, which has trivia, spaced out trivia. And that is at 6:30 Pacific time tomorrow night on Friday. And then Saturday morning at 9:30 Pacific, I will be Kim Jong Fun guy. You wrote love letters to Donald Trump. He's your bestie. Saturday morning, I will be dressed as the Bill from Schoolhouse Rock in a homemade costume. And I will be interviewing people at Comic-Con LA in downtown Los Angeles at the conference, whatever. And so you will definitely want to catch me. Vodka and cranberry all day. That's right. And then just put Lolo on and I'll be walking around LA Comic-Con asking people, hopefully, yes, I'm going to be the Bill from I got my materials. I'm about to fabricate this bitch and I'm gonna stream it. No, the vote is tomorrow, gal. I guess we don't. Oh, you mean the vote for whatever? I guess we don't. I literally looked and I can't see Congress live anywhere. Right? I just can't. I can't see it. I'm so confused. Well, it's kind of, like who's the high one here? Is it us or is it Congress? I think Tom, but I understand what Gal's saying. They did call for a recorded vote of the I don't know what the resolution was. Was it to have a vote? I don't know. Yeah. Well, any old way. So I'm so glad we had this time together just to laugh and da 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 song. Seems we just get started. I know, and they literally said the live event has ended, which is so strange. And then even wait, I'm gonna go one more time and check the US House of Representatives, like Dome Watch or something. What the fuck? Dome Watch. It's Dome Watch. It's Dome Watch. Dome Watch. Oh, wait. Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Part C, on agreeing to the amendment. What is the? Oh, is this the? This is some silly. I'm so confused. Is this live? It says it's live. Hold on. I'm going to show you what I think I see. I guess you're stuck with me a little bit longer. Oh well. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, U.S. House floor proceedings. I'm gonna allow it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is what? What the fuck is that? I don't understand. I don't understand. Nobody's there. Where are they? Oh my god, you guys. Okay, listen. I don't know. Oh, I know. It came from a tweet that I think Clay. Did Clay share it or did you share it, Gal, where it's the quantum party? Did you share that? The quantum party? Because bitches, you're not going to believe this shit. Can I just say, I think I even sent it to I think I sent it to him because it was just so fucking crazy. Hold on. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Quantumparty.org. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Quantumparty.org. Don't go there. Don't go there. Quantum. I'll go there for you. Okay. Don't visit this website. Do not visit this website. Do not visit this website. Unlock the future. Kiss my butt. Kiss my ass. Okay. Look at this, guys. You want to be scared? You want me to scare you? I'll scare you. Let me scare you. Let me entertain you. Let me scare you. This is, I believe, now, Gal, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the, oh, bye, Tom. I believe this is the, like the extension of MAGA 3X. Is that a good Cliff Notes way of defining that? Would you say, or is there a better way to define these idiots? Yeah. So here's these idiots. Unlock the future? No, I don't think so. Here we go. Here's what they want to do. It gets really interesting. Decentralized banking. Navigate the coming storm wisely. Oh, an interesting choice of words. And take steps to create a new decentralized ecosystem of money. Crypto. Bitcoin. Modernize healthcare. Defeat medical corruption. And leverage the abundance of AI to provide quality healthcare. Turn it over to the robots. Reformat government, like you reformat a document or reformat a hard drive. Move our capital to Kansas. I shit you not. And dramatically reformat our government so that it serves the needs of the people, which basically means strip it of all its people power. Take full advantage of this unique moment in geopolitical history to revolutionize our energy system, pretty much by just defeating everybody and taking everything and raping the natural world. End censorship and manipulation. Universal passive income from data. What does that mean? I don't want to know. I don't think I want to know. Make America quantum. Read the proposal. Is that the we believe in this? Oh God, I don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is the part I was reading. We've reached the end. I'm not going to read it. I'm making fun of it. Our government, this is their tenets. Our government is evil. Our democracy isn't real. Our rights don't exist. Our country is failing. You know, these are the guys you don't want at a party. Okay. They are the Debbie Downers of the geopolitical chaos network. So we're dangerously close to disaster, financial Armageddon. No. Okay. You can keep saying this all you want. It's not happening. It's not. That's a lie. This is a lie. You want to know why Silicon Valley Bank partially went under? Because Peter fucking Thiel decided to pull a bunch of billions of dollars out. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's QAnon. Okay. Thank you. QAnon. So kind of MAGA, but QAnon. And like virulently libertarian kind of thing. Like decentralize everything, privatize everything, no social safety net, every man for himself, that kind of thing. That's pretty much that's the shorthand of theirs. Oh my God. Oh, this is great. I love this. Most other countries are super fed up with our warmongering and belligerent meddling abroad. Oh my God, we're super fed up. Oh my God. Oh, and then this one is good. Sovereignty. According to the Supreme Court, the Vatican's doctrine of discovery is the legal foundation of the U.S. government's claim. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here, what do we do about it? Well, let me tell you. What America's like. She's like an old cell phone that is so bogged down with porn that it can barely function. The only way to fix it is to upgrade. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be laughing. This is terribly, terribly frightening, but I just want to. Henry Kissinger is dead. I've been thinking Henry Kissinger is dead for like 20 years, and it's finally true. I finally won't be wrong. So what they want to do using Star Wars, using Hollywood as their Northern Star. I'm sorry. Initiate peaceful revolution. The peaceful kind. All those peaceful revolutions. Do you know? Let's talk about all of them. There's been so many, I can't even think of one right now. I can't think of the videos. It's so dumb. Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah, decentralized. Yeah, because you know what? In decentralized governments, it works so well. Crazy parliaments and all that with multiple parties, coalition governments. Oh, yeah, it's great. Modernize our Constitution, add an Internet Bill of Rights, and specify huge penalties for officials who violate bedrock principles. Like big vigilantism. Get out your pitchforks, kids. We're going on a hike. Remake government. Create a simple, modern, functional government, because apparently these guys know how to do it. Because no one has been able to try and do that. Only these morons who steal from George Lucas can. What? Oh, look, they quote the Declaration of Independence. Fascinating. Challenge the UN's. Oh, this one is actually great. Okay, this is how we take our country back. You better listen up. Put down the weed and put down the coffee or the energy drink. All right, challenge claim. Challenge. This is what they want to do. Challenge the U.S. government's claim over the land, people, and resources of America. Cite the currently nullified doctrine of discovery. Transfer sovereignty. Okay, once we take the government, establish a new elected government and transfer all of the sovereign assets depriving our existing government of the collateral it needs to borrow. Get it? Bankrupt the existing government entity and discharge most of its massive debts. Make agreements with other countries to do the same. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's our campaign slogan. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Emerge as a new country. A real shit show, if you will. A complete crisis, if you will. Roll over vital services like Social Security. Really roll over them with what? With what? With what? What are you gonna do? You gonna frack our way to for grandma and grandpa? Let's see this one. Oh, here we go. Term limits, 12-year term limits, pay structure, 600,000 a year, but only if they reach benchmark performance. And so these benchmarks, those should be hilariously easy to figure out. I'm sure that there'll be immediate consensus on what those benchmarks would be, because we all know, coming from corporate, that compensation plans are always fucking watertight. Oh, great. Tried and true. Ugh. Trading ban, categorical ban on individual stock and bond trading for all. Yeah, okay, whatever. International lobby ban, whatever. Great. Glad to hear it. You want to get dark money out of politics? Fantastic. Virtual Congress. This is weird. Politicians must spend at least 50% of their time in their home district. Votes and committee hearings can be held via secure video conference, then 50% in their home district. Give them more staff, less lobbyists, which that might be fine. And then have all laws, limit them to a couple hundred pages. Is this, who wrote this? Did Kim Kardashian write this? All right. Okay, here's a good part too. Build it. Oh wait, I don't want to spoil it. Build a new capital. Get it out of there. Move it to Kansas. DC is a great museum, a functional venue. Kansas is the geographic center of the United States. I think it should be Kearney, Nebraska. I broke down once in Kearney, Nebraska, and when I asked the guy at the station, the gas station where I was, he said, "You're in the middle of the United States. Kearney, Nebraska." That's what it's famous for. So I guess it's going to be Kearney. It's spelled like Kearney, so don't say Kearney. It's Kearney. Yeah, I don't know. Midwest. That's where my people are from. I'm not making fun. Build it like the Apple campus, because you know what? Nothing makes us happier than taking the inspiration from all of the cabal leaders in the world, such as George Lucas and Disney with the use of the resistance icon. And now we're going to build Congress like the Apple campus, because why not? Why not? Here you go. Functional, modern design. They're going to spend 50% of their time here. Look, they actually have drawings. They have drawings. Unless these are just the Apple campus drawings and they just stole them and put in new flags, which is entirely possible. This could literally just be the Apple campus drawing renderings, and then they stuck their own flags in. Do you think? I think that's probably true. Unlimited food. So just like Google, you should be your cradle to grave. We've got you. Delicious food should be included, okay? World-class cafeterias. And lobbyists, nuh-uh. No entry. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Luxury apartment suites, including a spa, pool, and fitness center, included on site so members can save money, network after hours, and avoid long... It's really prison. It's really prison. This is amazing. Yeah, other countries already did it. Just look, Egypt. We want to be just like Egypt. Indonesia, there's another leading country. Yeah, streamline everything. See all these colorful dots? Just make them smaller. There's no words in here. We don't know what the words are that go in here. But just make it smaller. Just make it smaller. Oh, here's the best part. Here's the problem solver, people. Simplify the legal system. Rewrite laws with AI. Turn it over to AI. You know the give it to God saying? Nope, we're not. We're going to give it to GPT. We're going to give it to Gippet. Give it to Gippet. AI professional. Everyone is going to have an AI lawyer. Everyone. Everyone's going to have an AI government concierge. Everyone. Everyone will have an AI doctor. Everyone. They'll dispatch a nurse if you need in-person care. Right? You'll have an AI therapist. What's your problem? Tell it to the bot. Make America quantum. Okay, so there you go, folks. Yep. There you go. There you go. There you go. Wow. I read that and I was like, read the page about each district and tributes for the Atlas Shrugged Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favor. I'm telling you, holy crap is right. Thank you. Thank you. It's the sets from Spike Jonze's Her. It's designed for them to never leave. I don't know. I don't know. Tanks, resistance is futile. Join us. Tanks, I mean thanks. And Rand designed the campus. Wait, what? Jim, where's this coming from? I need much more weed. We're going to call them the quantum games, Rogue. Holy fuck. Yikes. Yikes. Wow. I need to get a little more high. I hadn't read that entire thing. I'd read most of the stuff, but not all of it. That's crazy. This world is crazy. Oh, it was on CNN. All right, hold on. Let me find it. That's awesome. I mean, not awesome, but it's just, if the stuff comes to light, it's awesome. I apologize. I'm a little tired. I've been on a lot today, so let me see. Oh no, Shane McGowan, the lead singer of the Pogues, is dead at 65. Oh, I want to play that song now. Okay, let's see. Let's hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on just a moment. Report details tense phone call between Trump and McCarthy after speakership debacle. Oh, interesting. Oh, I might have to play that. I can't. Let me see. Is it just breaking? Because it's not. I don't see it on the website, but it's definitely possibly me. It's possibly me. Congress specs first. No. Let me try this. Let me. Oh my god. Can I just go to the regular? Oh, I hate CNN. Okay. Here we go. Let me go ahead and copy this and I'll just show you what I'm looking at so you don't have to guess. I don't want 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 to guess. All right, so let's see. New York Appeals Court reinstates gag order. That's sad. Let's see. That's on the update on Israel and Palestine. Oh, is this Scott Perry? I need some more names being said. Na, 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 na. Oh man, I don't know. Wait, trending. Where's their trending? US. Let's try that. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, isn't this interesting? Wow. Oh, yeah. Co-founder of Students for Trump was charged with assault after allegedly hitting a woman with a gun. Well, at least he didn't shoot her, but that's really fucked up. Let's see here. It looks like something Reddit. Oh, yeah, no. I don't think it'd be a much bigger story if it was like seriously. But that's why we check, and it's called media literacy. Yeah, David K. Johnston. Let me see. Oh, God. I don't like that guy. I understand it, but I don't. Is that from his book? Hold on. Let me go to his Twitter. Also, Florida GOP Chair Christian Ziegler, husband of Moms for Lick My Ass co-founder, accused of sexual battery by alleged menage a trois lover. My goodness, Moms for Lick My Ass is really being shown to have earned that name. Oh, you know what I was going to read? I was going to read the letter from the Trump monitor. Moms for Anything. Hold on, because I got the letter that the monitor for Trump prepared. Hold on. I think it's this one. Wait, is it this one? Is it this one? No, it's not that one. I think it's this one. Oh, yeah, it's this one. Okay. So this is a letter from the Financial Monitor in New York for Donald J. Trump and the Trump Organization. On November 14th, I was appointed by the court in the above referenced matter as the independent monitor. On November 17th, the court supplemented that order and described certain duties and responsibilities of the monitor. Pursuant to the supplemental order of appointment, I am required to report the status of the monitorship to the court and the parties monthly, or as the monitor finds necessary, or as this court shall order. That is the purpose of this letter, which constitutes my 5th report to the court. Since my last report, my team and I have held additional conferences with the parties in the court. The parties have provided access to information necessary to effectuate my duties. Additionally, between my last report and now, my team and I have reviewed quarterly financial disclosures provided to third parties, tax information, general ledger data. Oops, hold on, sorry. Entity trial balances, securities, and bank account details for 12 separate accounts maintained by the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust, the trust, and other information. We also have requested and to the extent available reviewed specific financial information in connection with the following. Yeah, I stream on Twitch, and it's showing on Facebook and on Twitter. So there's a few places. I used to be on Kick, but I don't think I'm on that. Okay. The sale of the Trump Organization's license to operate Trump golf links at Ferry Point. The loan payoff for the property owned by 401 North Wabash LLC, the Chicago Tower. The conservation easement tax filing for the Trump National Doral Miami. And Trump Media and Technology Group Corporation, aka Truth Social. Yeah, I don't chat on Facebook though. I don't know. I don't have a lot of followers on Facebook, so we're building slowly. Observations since our last report. In my previous report, dated August 3rd, 2023, I notified the court that certain of the defendant's financial disclosures provided to third parties were either incomplete or inconsistent. I have since observed that defendants have taken steps to disclose intercompany loans omitted from prior disclosures, modified footnote disclosures regarding contingent liabilities, and have also provided all recent annual and quarterly certifications attesting to the accuracy of various financial statements as required by certain loan agreements. The Trump Organization also plans to add a clarifying note to internally prepared financial statements issued to third parties, stating that results will be reported as net income before depreciation, in instances where depreciation is not otherwise reflected in the financial statement. You know, where he lied. By taking these steps, I believe defendants have resolved the issues identified in the August report, subject to ongoing monitoring. Recent observations. Tax reporting and other disclosures. On April 11th, 2023, I reported the materiality threshold review protocol, the materiality threshold, had been established to provide the parties with clarity as to their compliance with the terms of the supplemental order of appointment. Among other things, the materiality threshold requires defendants to provide the monitor with financial information reported to third parties, including select tax returns for certain trust entities. During this reporting period, relevant tax returns for 6 trust entities were not promptly disclosed to the monitor pursuant to the terms of the materiality threshold. Upon my request, defendants provided the tax returns and acknowledged that their exclusion was an oversight. Okay, we go on. That's not it, though. Number 2, review of cash transfers. The materiality threshold also requires that defendants provide notice when entities within the trust make transfers outside of the trust with an aggregate value in excess
On this vote, the yeas are 412, the nays are 11. There is 1 recorded as present. The amendment is agreed to. The unfinished business is the request for recorded vote on amendment number 5, printed in Part C of House Report 118 and 280 by the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Ogles, on which further proceedings
Cool.
were
Thanks,
postponed,
Paul.
on which the ayes prevailed by voice vote.
Oh,
The clerk will
they're in there
redesignate the
now.
amendment.
Amendment number 5, printed in Part C of House Report number 118-280, offered
Good
by
thing we
Mr.
didn't give
Ogles of Tennessee.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. Sufficient number having risen. Recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
This is how much I want to do this. Okay, wait, I gotta read this. Wait, where are we? Okay, anyway, in excess of 5 million. As mentioned above, during this reporting period, my team requested and conducted a review of bank statements for 12 bank accounts maintained by the trust from January 2023 through October 2023. Upon review of these bank statements, we observed 3 cash transfers exceeding the 5 million each, totaling approximately 40 million. These transactions included a cash transfer of 29 million to Donald J. Trump, which I have confirmed was used for tax payments. Based upon the defendant's explanations, I have also confirmed that the other transfers were for insurance premiums and to an attorney escrow account. We have discussed with defendants why these transactions were not previously disclosed, and I have now clarified, and defendants have agreed, that all transfers of assets out of the trust exceeding 5 million must be reported. Number 3, Chicago Tower loan reporting. As described above, the loan for the Chicago Tower has been satisfied. Dang it! However, I have also reviewed information regarding the existence of an intercompany loan related to the property. Defendants are continuing to investigate this issue and any reporting requirements or documentation that might be required. I will report any additional developments on this issue to the court. What a little interagency loan going on, huh? Defendants have agreed to enhance monitoring given the matters described in this report. Defendants continue to cooperate with me and are generally in compliance with the court orders, and have committed to ensure that all required information, including tax information and cash transfers, will promptly disclosed to the monitor. My review of the defendant's submissions of financial information is ongoing. I appreciate the parties' cooperation. If you want to call me, call me. I'm Barbara. There we go. We did it. We did it. We really, really did it. Thank you for indulging me. Oh, hi. Welcome. I know. Here we are. 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 Well, they just surprised us and they came back. So I said, well, here we are. We've got to come back. So we came back. We listened to people plead for George, Clay Higgins, and Matt Gaetz. Please spare my friend this awful tragedy, this awful judgment. This is a travesty. What? What does that mean? Who's yelling? And Matt Gaetz really doesn't want this to happen because, frankly, he knows he's next. Because it always catches up with you, my darlings. All of your bad deeds, they catch up with you. Well, I mean, exceptionally, these bad deeds, right? These are very bad deeds. I mean, we're not talking just run of the mill, you've been an asshole, or you cut somebody off in traffic. No, darling. I'm talking exceptionally level of assholedness. And that is what we're dealing with here. It is the top levels of assholedness. And we just read well, I think you were probably here for most of it. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, maybe. Oogles. Oogles of Tennessee. Ogles. Ogles? Like ogre, right? Like ogles.
The yeas are 422. The nays are 1 and 1 recorded as present. The amendment is agreed to.
Yelling, you have a microphone, my
The unfinished business is a request for recorded vote on amendment number 6, printed in Part C of House Report 118 and 280 by the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Ogles, of which further proceedings were postponed, of which the ayes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 6, printed in Part C of
I
House
love
Report
her.
number 118-280, offered by Mr. Ogles of Tennessee.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request
Actually,
for recorded
both
vote
the
will
clerks
rise
are
and be
making
counted. A sufficient number having risen. Recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
Okay. Oh. It's Moms for Threesome story is hilarious. I know, right? So wait, let me find that. Hold on, please. Oh, we are now processing. Let me find that. Moms for lick my ass. Moms for lick my ass. Sorry. I really am sorry. Moms for lick my ass. I don't know what I'm signed into. Oh, okay. That's what I'm signed into. Her. Okay, let's see. Moms for lick my ass. Moms for lick my ass. I don't want them to, by the way. I don't want anyone. I don't need anyone to do it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little tired. Where is it? Oh, come on now. Moms for lick my ass. Well, I almost typed that. Sorry. Moms for lick my ass. Ooh. Oh God, they all look like Pokemon. Do 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 do. Wow wow wow. Oh man. Okay. What now? What now? And they aren't just for liberty. Wow. Wow. Alleged menage a trois. The person typing that today thought, I don't have to type anything. I'll never type menage a trois. Oops. Here it is. Florida Geo. No, I know. I'm sorry. Florida GOP Christian Ziegler, husband of Moms for Lick My Ass co-founder, accused of sexual assault by alleged menage a trois. Is this the menage a trois we're dealing with here? Did he bring the charges? I'm kidding. Christian. Oh my God. Why do you guys even put up with me? What? No, I didn't read Oliar. It was that was the letter from the monitor for the Trump assets. I haven't read Greg's piece yet. Christian Ziegler, Florida's GOP chairman and husband of Sarasota County School Board member and Moms for Lick My Ass, Moms for Lick My Ass. Co-founder Bridget Ziegler is under criminal investigation after a woman filed a complaint with the Sarasota Police Department alleging the longtime Republican official had raped her, according to a heavily redacted police report obtained
On
by
this
the
vote, the yeas are
Florida
241, the nays are 181, with 1 recorded as present. The amendment is agreed to.
Okay, now what?
The unfinished business is a request for a recorded vote on amendment number 8, printed in Part C of House Report 118 and 280 by the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Ogles, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the ayes prevailed by voice
ready
vote.
to party.
The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Why is
Amendment
everyone
number
there
8,
and ready
printed
to
in Part
party?
C of House Report number 118-280, offered by Mr. Ogles of Tennessee.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. Sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their
this
votes
guy
by
gives me a
electronic
headache.
device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
He makes my uterus shrink. Like hide. My uterus hides. Okay, let's go back to what we're reading something really important here, sir. Okay, the complaint was filed on October 4th and the alleged battery occurred inside the woman's home in Sarasota on October 2nd. According to the report, among the few words that went unredacted in the report are rape and sexual assault complaint. Women, according to sources close to the investigation, allege that she and both Zieglers had been involved in a long-standing consensual three-way sexual relationship prior to the incident. Why are they always the ones who go in an extreme? And again, I don't kink shame. I think it's great as long as people aren't being raped and aren't being hurt and children are not involved. I mean, get on with what you want consensually and in home. But why is it these people that, okay, never mind. Blah, 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 blah. The incident under investigation occurred when Christian Ziegler and the woman were alone at the woman's house without Bridget present, and the sources conveyed. Sources also corroborated that a search warrant was executed on Christian Ziegler's cell phone and that investigators continue to conduct a forensic examination of the electronic device. Christian Ziegler is also alleged to have secretly videotaped the sexual encounters between the couple and the woman. That's smart. There have been no charges filed in the case, and the Trident is unaware whether the women's allegations have been substantiated. A voicemail was left with Mr. Ziegler for the comment, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, no one's commenting. Christian Ziegler's attorney, Derek Bird, issued a written statement saying that his client had been fully cooperative with the Sarasota Police Department and predicting Ziegler will be completely exonerated because this can't possibly. The tapes will show, Your Honor. Oh my God. Yikes. Okay, yeah. The Zieglers are one of Florida's top political power couples. Well, not for long. Mom's for lick my ass. No. Okay, well, this is... Oh, she works at the Leadership Institute. Ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. I mean it. Oh my God.
On this vote, the yeas are 226, the nays are 199, with one recorded as present.
It's their
This amendment
hate.
is agreed
It's their
to.
hate. I don't like their hate is just unabashed. Power
The unfinished
thrupples.
business is a request for a recorded vote on Amendment number 9, printed in Part C of House Report 118 and 280 by the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Fluger, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the ayes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 9, printed in Part C of House Report number 118-280, offered by Mr. Fluger of Texas.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request for recorded vote will rise and be counted. Sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
I like to sing that song. I'll sing it again. .com. I could also sing you the Christmas song, the Crispmas song. Oh, you sent me a thread in DM about the Zieglers. Zig Zigga. I hope are they related to Garrett? I suppose not. Oh, fuck. I suppose I'm not even. Fuck. Okay, wait. I need to switch my account. Fuck. Sorry. It's annoying. This is what I do, and I annoy everybody in my life by doing it. No! Wow, I have other accounts that I didn't realize. I wonder which one is it then? What the hell? All right, I'll find it. Ay, ay, ay. Not related? Oh, probably not. But you know what? Garrett Ziegler, in and of himself, is an asshole and needs to be locked up. Lock him up. Lock him up. That's right, Rudolph. You can't play in our reindeer games. Take a hike, Rudolph. It's always the ones trying to police other sex lives that get caught in scandals. Hello, thank you, Paul. That's exactly. That's it. It's sticking your big fat noses in other people's business and having an opinion about shit you shouldn't have an opinion about, and making up lies about people and scaring them about their children and all the nonsensicals. We've already went through
On this vote, the yeas are 231, the nays are 198. With one recorded as present, the amendment is adopted.
Okay, next.
The unfinished business is a request for a recorded vote on amendment number 10, printed in Part C of House Report 118 to 280 by the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Porter, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the ayes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 10, printed in Part C of House Report number 118-280, offered by Ms. Porter of California.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. Sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
Just when I stopped opening doors. Wait. Knowing the one that I wanted was yours. My entrance again with my usual flair. Oh, that was a bad note. My eyes. No one is there. I need to. I hope. I need to start making this fucking costume. Like, I'm gonna be up all night making this goddamn motherfucking costume. You come for the proper language, don't you, darlings? Okay, let me see what is going on. Ay. Oh my god, I see it and I believe it. Wait, hold on. Wait. Okay. And here we are, and here we go, and then we go over here, and then we go over here, and then we go over here, and then we go over there. And then thank you to Gal Suburban for sharing this. This is a thread that Gal Suburban wrote. Let's see. Bridget Ziegler, whose husband organized buses to the January 6th insurrection with his seditious election fraudster Joe Gruters. Yep, that Bridget Ziegler, and was and still a founder of Moms for Lick My Ass. There's her darling husband. There he is. There's that fresh-faced threesome lover now. There's enough for everybody, ladies. At least another one. Bridget's
On this
willing
vote, the
to
yeas are
share.
399, the nays are 28. With
Mama
one
bears have
recorded as
awoken,
present, the amendment
and
is
we are
agreed
looking
to.
for partners.
The unfinished business is the request for a recorded vote on amendment number 12, printed in Part C of House Report 118 to 280 by the
wanted
gentleman
another
from
DC?
Illinois, Mr. Jackson, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the noes
Reach out to
prevailed
my
by
friend
voice
Tracy
vote. The clerk will
Williams.
redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 12, printed in Part C of House
God, so
Report
many
number
receipts.
118-280, offered by Mr. Jackson of Illinois.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request
There he
for recorded
is.
vote
Wow,
will
he
rise
doesn't
and be counted.
hide it.
Sufficient number having risen. Recorded vote is
Not
ordered.
hiding it.
Members will record their votes by electronic device. This will be a 2-minute vote.
Oh, good, Lee. I'm so glad. I'm glad you're there. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my God, I need to bookmark. Like, there's so many things I've missed. Like, there was a point of time. Oh my God, look at this. Fucking hell, Gal. There was a long period of time when I was knocked off of Twitter and I missed so many tweets. So many. I mean, there's no reason not to read this entire thread. I was asked for no.
Removed now. This was not to those folks. And I do believe that this is the right decision for us because I have had a number of people, and I think it's well over 60% of the people in this community who are for mandatory masks.
That is a lie.
And he proved it.
If another outburst from you, you will be removed, Mr. Wilson.
No, I'd like to have him removed now. This was not, he's already been warned. I warned them at the beginning that we would not be having any more.
Excuse me, clear the gallery, clear the gallery, clear the gallery.
This is why. Because of these motherfuckers. Fuck all you that were like, oh, parental rights. Oh, why did they weaponize against parents? Oh, because they were looking at people who were causing violence at school board meetings, you motherfuckers. Do you not remember? I'm so tired of it. So tired.
The board stands at recess until the gallery is cleared.
Oh my God, is that? Wow. God, this has grown since that time, Gal. This is 2 years ago. 2 fucking years ago. Okay, can I just get on my soapbox for a second? I just want you to take a look at this one thread from Gal Suburban. And if you know that Gal Suburban was chased off of Twitter by a Nazi sympathizer and anti-Semite Chuck Johnson, then by threatening her and her family, you need to know that all of the people who currently come after Gal, come after me, come after
nays are
Jim
236,
Stewardson,
one voting president.
the
The amendment
assholes.
is not agreed to.
This is good work. This is good work.
There being no further amendment.
So everyone who
pursuant to
has
the
a
rule,
problem with Gal
the committee
Suburban or
rises.
Gal Squad, you can all go fuck yourselves because you haven't been reading or paying attention, or you're threatened by something she does, which means you better check your own fucking self. So there. Well, look at the party that's going on down there in congressionals. They are legit. And that's why everybody who comes for her or me or any member of the Gal Squad needs to get fucked.
Pursuant to House Resolution 891, I report the bill as amended by that resolution.
I know they're
back to the
listening,
House with
so
sundry
I'll
further
say it
amendments
another
adopted
time.
in the Committee
Go
of the Whole.
fuck yourself. To put it in the words of Elmo.
The chair of the Committee of the Whole House
Tired
of the
of
State
this
of the Union
bullshit.
reports that the committee has had under consideration the bill H.R. 5961 and pursuant to House Resolution 891 reports the bill as
Every
amended by that
damn
resolution back to the House
fucking
with
day.
sundry further amendments adopted in the Committee of the
Oh,
Whole.
good.
Under the rule, the previous question is ordered. Is a separate vote demanded on any amendment reported from the Committee of the Whole?
No. They
If
wanna
not,
go
the chair
get
will put
drinks.
them in gross. The question is on the adoption of the amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. The amendments are agreed to. The question's on engrossment and third reading of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. Third reading.
A bill to free certain Iranian funds involved in the 2023 hostage deal between the United States and Iran and for other purposes.
question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it.
Speaker, I request the yeas and the nays.
The yeas and nays have been requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
This is a 5-minute vote. It's a big one. So extra time for pooping. All right, so let's go to Bridget the Moron and see if we can go down to the end of the thread, the endless end of the thread. Oh my God, Gal, you're so amazing. I mean, I will simp for you, girl, because you literally understand. You do the work. Look at this. You guys, come on. This is one fucking thread. Wait, is this? Who's this? Oh, that's Jennifer Jenkins. Okay, I remember her. What's this one? Shirley Brown. Okay, I remember her. Shirley Brown's house. Let's see. Where is it? Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Thread within thread within thread. He's like a Russian nesting doll looking at the gal suburban threads. I cannot take it anymore. He's like a little matroshka. He's like a matroshka that I have. Bridget Ziegler, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this must be it. Is this it? No. Oh, well, this is the other perspective of that.
Don't look at me. You're a liar.
They all are.
Clear the gallery. 20%, you bunch of liars. Don't look at me. You're a liar.
They all are.
Oh my God. A child. Okay. All right. Sorry, that got a little distracted there. Deeply nested. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like a real, it is a matryoshka. Let's see here. Da, 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 da. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Let me see. Christian Ziegler. Okay. Sorry, I know this is frustrating that I'm not finding it. I apologize. Oh, could this be? No, but that's the thing about him. Oh, look at, boy, Matt is on Ozempic. Oh, you did send me the exact tweet. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my technology. I hate technology. So you hate technology? I hate technology. I do. I hate it. Thank you, Gal. I appreciate that. Wow. Okay, thank you for waiting. Oh, I saw that tweet. Okay. I know which one you were talking about. All right. Okay. Do 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 do. Let's make sure we're in the right spot. Yes, we're in the right spot. Oh yeah, she does look. She looks like no special snowflake. All right.
So-called woke curricula being taught in classrooms. Bridget Ziegler is a mother of 3 girls and a Sarasota County school board member. She joins us now. Bridget, great to see you. We should say that Florida now makes at least 7 states that have banned the teaching of critical race theory. The rule mandates that teachers, quote, may not define American history as something other than the creation of a new nation based largely on universal principles stated in the Declaration of Independence. What to you is the problem of teaching things like critical race theory and the 1619 project in our public schools.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Predominantly, the biggest thing that I have as a mother of 2, a 5, and a 7-year-old is that I don't want my children or their peers to learn to hate America through the anti-American curriculum that we continue to see. I think the other major concern is that this pins students against each other to see each other by the race of their skin color versus the contents of their character, which is completely opposite of what many of us all learned growing up. And I believe that creates a farther divide for our students when they really need to be learning foundational skill sets to allow them to be successful members of society.
Now, a couple of things we should mention is you are the only member of the Sarasota County School Board who has school-age children. As you mentioned, you've got one that's a rising pre-K, you've got one in elementary school, and you pulled the daughter out of elementary school because of what was going on. What are you teaching them about diversity and inclusiveness yourself as a family, as a mother, and how is what they're proposing to teach in schools potentially at odds with the values
on this
that you're
vote?
instilling in your
The
daughter?
yeas are 307.
Well, thank you for bringing
The
that up
nays.
because it was not an easy decision, and I'll tell you, one part is that yes, I am the only board member on my board of 5 that has school-age children, and that's important because school boards across the nation are making decisions that are impacting our students, our young children immediately. And so, if you're far removed from that, you may not see those implications when you get your child in the car and they ask you what white privilege is. That's concerning. I want them to understand that we all have an opportunity to succeed in this great state, a great country of ours and state. But I also want them to understand that we treat people with respect no matter what their circumstances are.
Well, thank you, Bridget. That was a big fucking pot of nothing. I love you. You're an idiot. And you're still moms for lick my ass. Always in my heart.
Are 100
of HR 5283, which the clerk will report by title.
A bill to prohibit the use of federal funds to provide housing to specified aliens on any land under the administrative jurisdiction of the federal land management agencies.
When the Committee of the Whole rose on Wednesday, November 29, 2023, a request for a recorded vote on Amendment Number 2, printed in Part A of House Report 118 to 280, offered by the gentlewoman from New York, Ms. Velasquez, had been postponed. Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, the unfinished business is a request for a recorded vote on Amendment Number 2, printed in Part A of House Report 118 to 280, offered by the gentlewoman from New York, Ms. Velasquez, on which further proceedings were postponed, on which the noes prevailed by voice vote.
I had a chance to meet
clerk will
her. Oh my
redesignate the
God.
amendment.
She is like
Amendment number 2, printed in Part A of House Report number 118-280, offered by Ms. Velasquez of New York.
A recorded vote's been requested. Those in support of a request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. Sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members who record their votes by electronic devices will be a 2-minute vote.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. So I suppose they'll get to the point of voting on whatever they needed to vote on for whatchamacallit? Randy. Yeah, exactly. Spicy. Mom's for lick my ass. Yeah, it's the freedom to show my titties. It's the freedom to invite a stranger over to play with me and my husband. Hey, man. Again, whatever floats your boat. But in this case, I will definitely message you, gal. I gotta make sure I get all the shit, man. It's not even, some of it's not here. Like the body of it isn't here yet. But I definitely will. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Actually, let me check it. I wish. No, I guess that's stupid. That's stupid. Don't do it. Oh my God, they're not here yet. Oh, good. It's out for delivery. That's good. Oh my God. Oh, yay. Everything's going to be here by today. Yay. I thought something was coming tomorrow. I really hope that I think that vote is actually tomorrow, but they have some kind of weird vote today. There's a pecking order, but it's not the same as the linking order. I don't know. I mean, really, Max, when you only have Clay Higgins and Matt Gaetz in your corner, are you in? I don't think so. Do you want to change your vote? Do you want to change your vote? Do you? Hey, Democrats, who the fuck's voting? Who are those five? Who are those five assholes that don't want to give
On this
places
vote,
for
the
people to
yeas
sleep?
are 206. The nays are
luck with that.
223. The
luck with
amendment
that house.
is not, and one answering present. The amendment is not agreed to.
You can go ahead and
There being no further
Not
amendment
agree to it
pursuant to
all
the
you
rule, the committee rises.
okay, wait. So now what? Wait, what does that mean? Oh God, I wish sometimes they would interpret what they're saying. I don't understand. Mr. Stubby, what are we doing? I want this to be a Stephen Sondheim music. Stephen. Hi,
Mr. Speaker, the Committee of the Whole House on the State of the Union is under consideration H.R. 5283. And pursuant to the House Resolution 891, I report the bill as amended by that resolution. Back to the House with a further amendment adopted in the Committee of the Whole.
What's that mean?
The chair of the Committee of the Whole on the State of the Union reports that the committee has had under consideration the bill H.R. 5283 and pursuant to House Resolution 891, reports the bill as amended by that resolution. Back to the House with a further amendment adopted in the Committee of the Whole. Under the rule, the previous question is ordered. The questions on the adoption of the
Lauren
further
Boebert
amendment
to
reported
explain
from the
that to
Committee
me.
of the Whole. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. The amendments are agreed to. The question is on engrossment and third reading of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, please say no.
They're all there.
The
for
ayes have
something.
it. Third reading.
A bill to prohibit the use of federal funds to provide housing to specified aliens on any land under the administrative jurisdiction of the federal land management agencies.
Question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it.
Speaker,
For what purpose?
I'd like to request a recorded vote.
A recorded vote is requested. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 5-minute vote.
And as an afternoon snack, a banana nut muffin. That's right. Make sure you have a snack. Welcome to the Truman Show, where Lolo is on 24 hours a day. Oh, okay. I should sing the Christmas song. Hold on. Let me take a drink. Okay, hold on. What? Here we go. Let me pull up the words. I always forget the words. Check your voter registration, darling, 'cause they'll knock you off. Next year, all our rights are on the chopping block. Think I'm high? Well, last I checked, Rose gone. So make a plan today. Next year we must vote or Fash will have their way. Once again, GOP is lame. Lindsay has no shame, it's true. Maggot brains are on auto drive. Screaming Hunter's mind, Lev who? Someday soon we all will have to stand up and ensure love wins. Until then, we'll have to keep aware somehow. So check your registration at vote.org now. There you go. The first in the Christmas album. The Northern Lights might be visible? Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shitballs. What happened to the Earth? How is that possible? And fuck. There we go, Clayburgh Higgins. And kick George Santos out today. Good one. That's a good one, Clayburgh. Clayburgh Higgins, Clayburgh Higgins, Clayburgh Higgins. Mm-hmm. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. My daughter's like, what is Christmas? And I'm like, it's just a play on Christmas. Because I didn't want to invoke Christmas. So I'm like, oh, I'll just replace the T with a P. Merry Christmas. And it's ridiculously hard to say, which I especially love. It just tickles your mouth when you say it.
Yeas are 224. The nays are 203 with one voting present. The bill is passed.
I'm Greg Stubbe.
Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
I'm a Greg Stubbe. I'm a doobie.
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the question on suspending the rules and pass H.R. 4666 as amended, which the clerk will report by title.
I like it.
H.R. 4666, a bill to require the Inspector General of the Small Business Administration to submit a quarterly report on fraud relating to certain COVID-19 loans.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill as amended? So many as are in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the question on suspending the rules and pass H.R. 4667 as amended, which the clerk will report by title.
Do we have like 5,000
H.R.
of them to vote?
4667, a bill to require the administrator of the Small Business Administration to issue guidance and rules for leaders and the Small Business Administration on handling amounts of paycheck protection loans returned by borrowers and for other purposes.
The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill as amended? So many as are in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
What's that mean? Wait,
For what
everybody left?
purpose does the gentleman from Texas seek
Oh,
recognition?
they're all leaving.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous
Oh my
consent
God, it's
that the
Ronnie,
clerk be
Amby,
authorized
and
to make
Jackson.
technical corrections in the engrossment of HR 5961 to include corrections in spelling, punctuation, section numbering, and cross-referencing, and the insertion of appropriate headings.
Oh, shit.
Without objection.
I'm supposed to go somewhere today. God damn it.
What purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I ask for unanimous consent to remove Representative Robin Kelly of Illinois from co-sponsorship of H.R. 972, and I yield back.
Without objection.
Okay. Well, what does Ron think about it?
The chair lays before the House a message.
What?
To the Congress of the United States, I am pleased to transmit to the Congress pursuant to subsections 123B and 123D of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 as amended 42 U.S.C. 2153B. D, the Act. The text of an agreement for cooperation between the government of the United States of America and the government of the Republic of the Philippines concerning
I'm
peaceful
probably
uses
almost
of nuclear
done.
energy.
We're just waiting to see
The
what
agreement.
they do.
I am also pleased to
Because
transmit
they
my
did a
written
debate
approval,
about
authorization, and determination concerning the agreement and an unclassified nuclear proliferation assessment statement, MPAS, concerning the agreement. In accordance with Section 123 of the Act, a classified annex to the MPAS prepared by the Secretary of State in consultation with the Director
I'm
of
gonna be the
National
House reading
Intelligence,
clerk.
summarizing relevant classified information,
that'd be a good
will
one.
be submitted to the Congress separately.
Just kidding. I don't want to.
The joint memorandum submitted to me by the Secretaries of State and Energy and a letter from the chair of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission stating the views of the commission are also enclosed. An addendum to the MPAS containing a comprehensive analysis of the export control system of the Republic of the Philippines with respect to nuclear-related matters, including interactions with other countries of proliferation concerning the actual or suspected nuclear dual use or missile-related transfers to such countries, pursuant to Section
That's right, Gal. It's baby pickup
102
time.
AW
Have a
of the
good
National
one.
Security
Have
Act
the
of
babies.
1947, 50 U.S.C. 3024.
Oh, poor woman. Give her a
Is being
drink.
submitted separately by the Director of the National Intelligence. The agreement has been negotiated in accordance with the Act and other applicable law. In my judgment, it meets all the applicable statutory requirements and will advance the nonproliferation and other foreign policy interests of the United States of America. The agreement contains all of the provisions required by subsection 123A of the Act. It provides a comprehensive framework for peaceful nuclear cooperation with the Republic of the Philippines based on a mutual commitment to nuclear nonproliferation. It would permit the transfer of material, equipment, including reactors, components, and information for peaceful nuclear purposes. It would not permit the transfer of restricted data
Yes,
or sensitive
exactly.
nuclear technology.
Yes, we
Any
caught
special
that, Scott. It was
fissionable
laughable.
material transfer could only be in the form of a low enriched uranium, with the exception of small quantities of material for the use of samples, standards, detectors, or targets, or for such other purposes as the parties may agree. Through the agreement, the Republic of the Philippines would affirm its intent to rely on existing international markets for nuclear fuel services rather than acquiring sensitive nuclear technology, i.e. for enrichment and reprocessing. And the United States would affirm its intent to support the supply of reactors, materials,
They were going to take
and
some kind of
equipment
vote
in
about it, though.
order to ensure a reliable supply
Although,
of
I
low
always
enriched
love a little
uranium
civic
fuel to the
education.
Republic of the Philippines. The
I'd
agreement
be
has a
watching it
term of 30
alone.
years, although it can be
I'd
terminated
much
by
rather
either
watch
party
it with
upon
you guys.
providing 1 year's
And
advance
gals
written
and those.
notice.
You, he, she's, and
In the
his.
event of a termination or expiration of the agreement, key non-proliferation conditions and controls will continue in effect as long as any material, equipment, or components subject to the agreement remain in the territory of the party concerned or under its jurisdiction or control anywhere, or until such time as the parties agree that such material, equipment, or components are no longer usable for any nuclear activity relevant from the point of view of safeguards. I have considered the views and recommendations of the interested departments and agencies in reviewing the agreement and have determined that its performance will promote and will not constitute an unreasonable risk to the common defense and security. Accordingly, I have approved the agreement and authorized its execution and urge that the Congress give it favorable consideration. This transmission shall constitute a submittal for purposes
I'll
of
take a
both
break after
subsections
this.
123B and 123D of the Act. My administration is prepared to begin immediately consultations with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and the House Foreign Affairs Committee, as provided in subsection 123B. Upon completion of the 30 days of continuous session review provided for in subsection 123B, the 60 days of continuous session review provided for in subsection 123D shall commence. Signed sincerely, Joseph R. Biden
I would be
Jr.,
too
the
compelled
White House, November
to be making
30th,
a funny,
2023.
funny voice, and then I'd be
Refer to the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
oh, well,
No
everybody's going to be like out. Are you doing like reports and shit? Because I'm not going to stick.
The chair
around.
will now entertain requests for 1-minute speeches.
Oh no, are they doing like endless speeches? I'm not doing that.
For what purpose does the gentleman from
Let's
Georgia
just
seek
see what
recognition?
one person.
Consent to address the House for 1 minute to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
What is it about? Because if it's about like hometown heroes and shit like that,
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to celebrate the achievements of Colin Towton, the
That's
longest
what it
serving active
fucking
sheriff
is.
in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, no.
After
after 15 years, no. I'm not doing it. No, I'm sorry. I draw the line. I draw the line. I draw the line at the 1-minute speeches that celebrate all the hometown heroes. I'm not doing that. So, but I guess they're not going to vote on anything related to the Santos. We thought they might be voting on something related to advancing the Santos vote or something of that nature. It does not. I think I might have misinterpreted that. So it looks as if this portion of the day is done. Yes, the voice is warmed up nicely. Oh, thank you so much, Scott. You're very, very, you're very kind. You're very, very kind. Yes, the voice is warmed up and I'm ready to go. But hopefully I get my materials for tonight's costume making expedition. And Gal, I'll definitely hit you up if I get everything in time. Otherwise, I will see all of you, hopefully, tomorrow. I'll be on in the morning West Coast time, but afternoon East Coast time. So I'm going on at 10:15-ish tomorrow, around 10:15, 10:20 Pacific time, 1:20 Eastern, everything in between and outside of that. Then we have the lounge tomorrow night with trivia at 6:30 Pacific. And then Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, I'm at LA Comic-Con dressed up as the Bill from Schoolhouse Rock. And I'll be walking around Comic-Con and interviewing people, and I'll be live streaming from LA Comic-Con. So please tune in for that as well. And it'll be on Lolo's Lounge as well as Democracy Dino. It'll be on our Facebook, our Twitch, our Twitter. Shit, man. Where won't it be? That's my question. How do I get out? How do I say no? Anyway, I want to thank you all again. Jeez, my God, what an embarrassment of riches. A bientôt, merci tout le monde. Oui. And smoke them if you got them, babes. And I'm certainly going to be doing that. I'm going to get my weed on. Again, friends, thank you. Thank you for your generosity of time and spirit and energy. I always appreciate it. And I will see you when I see you. Have a great night. Good night.